you are, I was trying to think of a name, right? And I'm sure you've been called a couple of different things, but in terms
I've been called a lot of different things.
The role that you play I think of you as the Oracle, right? You're the Oracle. But I get emotional sometimes when I think about Jack Bogle, and that sounds weird. I've never met the guy. I've never met even a relative of his, but I think about what he did, certainly compared to what he could have done.
Exactly.
Right. But then when I think about, you and I think about some of the other people who have really been at the forefront and are pillars in the financial independence community, I wonder if you are ever worried or concerned about this message and this approach ever fading away? And if so, like, who do you see as kind of taking the torch and beating the drum on this message of the importance of index fund investing?
That's an interesting take. And I've never been, usually the question I'm asked is, do you think index investing is going to take over the world? And the answer to that is no, I don't, because the allure of trying to outperform, as we were talking about earlier with your friend who, is just drawn into all these other things, that's just too strong and there's too much marketing around that. I never candidly thought about the idea that maybe the flame would be extinguished. I don't see that happening because there's so much research supporting the value of index funds and, the low cost approach and the outperformance and that kind of thing. So I don't think that's going to happen. Jack Bogle, of course, has passed away at this point. And I do see, Vanguard. One of the reasons I'm a huge Vanguard fan is because that was his creation and he structured it so that if you own the funds, you own the company and there's no inherent conflict of interest. But even Vanguard is straying from the one true faith, so to speak, a little bit. They have actively managed funds and they're pushing them more and more. And I think that you can see a trajectory of that as Mr. Bogle grew older and was less actively involved. And so I worry about that a little bit. But, I think indexing I think indexing has a lot of legs. There's a lot of power behind it at this point. And the other thing that I'll say, seeing as you brought it up, is Jack Bogle was a fiscal saint, as I call him. I mean, it's just incredible the gift that he gave to individual investors before he created Vanguard and index funds. If you were going to invest, you went through a stockbroker, you paid commissions in and out, or you bought an actively managed fund and paid extraordinarily high fees. Now actively managed funds you can get them at, 0.5% or, but back in the day, they were routinely 3-4% a year. So that competition from index investing has made even active investing more competitive. And every now and again, somebody will compare me to Jack Bogle or put me on the same level as Bogle. And I say, Jack Bogle was a white hot sun and I'm a flickering candle in comparison. I mean, he created the stuff. I write about it a little bit, but he's the guy who gifted it to all of us. So yeah, huge kudos.
It's beautiful. Like we say in the opening of each episode, there's so much more to money than saving it, spending it, and investing. So I wanted to know JL's thoughts on community, about his wife, and his motivations for charitable giving. The gushy stuff. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Cashing Out the Podcast. To see more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to turn on your notifications. To get your copy of Cashing Out the book, visit Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, or download the audiobook on Audible.